When silence becomes the beginning. There comes a moment in every life when things go quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the heavy kind. The kind where the noise of the world fades and you're left alone with your thoughts. No applause, no instructions, no clear sense of direction. In those moments, it often feels like you're standing still, like everyone else is moving forward, building, growing, winning, and you're stuck somewhere between not yet and no longer. This happened to someone who never made headlines. No awards, no viral success story, just a regular person living a regular life, working, rushing, making mistakes, and saving their dreams for someday. And one evening, someday arrived. Sitting alone in a quiet room, they realized something simple and terrifying at the same time. Life was moving on, and they weren't. There was no dramatic failure, no sudden loss, just a quiet truth settling in. If nothing changes, 10 years from now I'll be the same person, just more tired. That realization doesn't feel motivating. It feels uncomfortable. It raises questions we'd rather avoid. What if I try and fail? What if it's too late? What if I just don't have what it takes? Like most people, they wanted certainty, a guarantee that effort would pay off, a guarantee that fear was unnecessary, a guarantee that taking a step forward wouldn't mean falling into nothing. But life doesn't offer guarantees. It offers choices. And that night, they made the smallest choice possible. Not a life overhaul, not a bold declaration, not a promise to change everything starting Monday. Just this: tomorrow, I'll do one thing differently. The next morning, they woke up 10 minutes earlier, not because it changed their future, but because it changed how they showed up for themselves. A week later, they stopped waiting for motivation and started acting without it. A month later, they stopped measuring their life against someone else's highlight reel. 6 months later, they noticed something unexpected. Fear was no longer in charge of every decision. They still had doubts. They still felt tired. They still had days where quitting felt easier than continuing. But now, there was movement. We're often taught that confidence comes before action, that first you believe and then you move. But real confidence is built while you're moving. Every small step becomes evidence, not for the world, but for yourself. I can do this. Not perfectly, not quickly, but consistently. And eventually, another truth became clear. Progress is not a straight line. There will be days when it feels like you're going backward, moments when effort seems wasted, mistakes you wish you could erase, pauses that feel uncomfortable and uncertain. These are not failures. They're part of the process. You don't have to be strong every day. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to refuse to abandon yourself. Because every time you choose to try again, you strengthen the inner foundation everything else is built on. So if you're listening to this and feeling unsure, you're not broken. If you're afraid, that doesn't mean you're weak. If you're tired, that doesn't mean you're done. It means you're standing at the beginning. You don't need to see the entire path. You only need to see the next step. You don't need perfect belief in yourself. You just need enough courage to keep going today. And one day, you'll look back and realize That silence you once feared was never a pause. It was the start.